All right, if you're watching this video, you're ready to go to the conclusion and the works cited of your personal goals essay for Unit 1 so far. We did an opening paragraph. We followed this triangle format. We started off with a big idea, narrowed to our thesis. We've drafted Body 1, Body 2, and Body 3, in which we discussed 3 different ways, 3 different areas in which we can improve. Now we're going to our conclusion. Notice, it's the reverse of our opening, so it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to start more on point, and then we're going to end on a bigger note when we get to this conclusion. All right, so what you're going to want out when you do your conclusion, make sure you've got a notebook here ready to go for your conclusion. Okay. All right, I'm going to go through the steps that we're going to do for the conclusion, and then I'm going to walk you through it. Then I'm going to show you quickly what you need to do for the works cited page. All right, this is a non-summary conclusion. So when we talk about a non-summary conclusion, it's slightly different. It's still going to kind of work from your point out to a bigger note. But what we're going to do is, instead of just simply repeating our thesis in 3 points right at the start and then ending with a clincher, we're going to kind of blend our thesis into the closing. All right? It's a little bit less obvious of a closing when you do a non-summary conclusion. When we do a non-summary conclusion, here are our steps. Step 1, continue the discussion from the previous paragraph. So you're going to kind of look at Body 3, what you were talking about towards the end of that paragraph, and we're going to discuss it in a sentence or two. This will help you smoothly transition from Body 3 into kind of this natural conclusion that doesn't feel forced. What I want you to get away from is the conclusion where you say, in conclusion, then you just repeat your thesis. That's a really obvious, boring conclusion. So this non-summary conclusion it's not that difficult, but it's a more sophisticated way to do things. So we're just going to kind of pick up on what we were talking about in Body 3 and talk about it a little bit into our conclusion. Then we're going to connect this discussion to an issue from the modern world. So we're going to try to think of a bigger issue that we can connect out to. We're broadening. Just like the triangle gets broader and wider, that's what we're going to do. We're going to connect out to the world as a whole. Then we're going to connect back to yourself and blend your thesis into the closing. And I'll show you how I do that. But you're going to come back to that thesis, but it's going to be kind of smoothly blended into your closing, so it doesn't jump out. It's not quite so obvious. We're going to end with a clincher, a powerful statement that wraps up the paper. In this case, I used a call to action is the method I used. There's multiple different methods you can use for conclusion. You can relate to the future. You can relate to everybody universally. You can end with a great quote. There's a lot of different ways. I'm just going to show you how I did it with a call to action. All right, here we go. Continuing the discussion from the previous paragraph. The previous paragraph, I was talking about how kids could learn more if I was able to maintain a positive relationships with them. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm continuing the discussion. As students learn more, they may start to ask more questions about themselves and how they can best impact the world around them. So right here is where I'm continuing the discussion. What you can do, guys, is look back at the end of Body 3, kind of look at what you were talking about, those last few sentences of Body 3, and use that to transition smoothly into your conclusion. So I was talking about students learning more. As students learn more, they may start to ask questions about themselves and how they can best impact the world around them. Instead of getting caught up in the fast-paced lifestyle of most Americans, maybe young people can learn to slow down and truly think about their identity and their actions. Second step, connect to an issue from the modern world. Right here, fast-paced lifestyle of most Americans. That's my modern connection. I thought of a big idea or a big theme that kind of applies to people in America today, in the modern world. So I'm broadening my topic. Now I'm going to connect back to myself. That's step 3. For me, slowing down and engaging in self-examination is a crucial part of my life. All right, I connected back to myself. Now I'm going to blend my thesis into the closing. As a result of this process, I see a need to become more conscientious, patient, and positive. There we go. There's my blended thesis. My 3 points. I kind of smoothly blended it in to my discussion. Finally, my clincher. I use a call to action. Now comes the hard part, taking action to turn those goals into accomplishments. So I'm calling on myself to act out, and become a better teacher. That's a call to action clincher. Okay? All right, so you're going to go through and you're going to draft this non-summary conclusion. All right? Once you have that drafted, you have your 5 paragraphs done. we have to include a Works Cited page at the end. This is absolutely 100% required. We've cited 3 different sources. We've got to include those in our paper. Now, if you look at your sample essay, I included a Works Cited page. Looks like this. Now, these are not the same 3 articles that you read. I think one of them's the same, Daniel Coyle, that's the same. But you guys read the article by Esther Cepeda, The Writing is on the Wall. You also read the article Traits of the Get It Done Personality by Catherine Mangan. So those 3 sources have to go on your Works Cited page. It's Works Cited, that's your title, WORKS CITED, centered up top. This is all double spaced, all right? We're going to enter it in alphabetical order. So for you guys, you're going to start with Cepeda, then you're going to go to Coyle, then you're going to go to Mangan. For me, I went from Coyle to Hattie to Marzano. That's alphabetical order. Entered it in proper MLA format, each one of them with a hanging indent for each source. It's double spaced. We already did this. As we read each of the 3 articles together, we went through and we filled in the bibliographic information. So take that, transfer it onto your Works Cited page. When you get done, you're going to have a 5-paragraph essay. This will be on a clean new page. It'll be the last page of your essay will be your Works Cited page. All right? You should have all the information you need to write a successful essay. Go ahead and finish it up and turn it into Mr. Stark. Thank you.